All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you. Welcome back to another installment of our Admissions Partner Webinar series. These are our training webinars that we use to help folks better understand the Academy admissions process and cadet life. And today with us here is First Class Camisha Moore. She is the summer CGAS or prep school cadet running the show for our first class cadets and the prep school students who are incoming in a couple weeks. So I'm going to hand the microphone and the stage over to Camisha. She's going to touch a little bit on her cadet life and herself as an applicant all the way through SWAB summer, and I think spent some time at prep school. And then talk about where her aspirations are taking her after she graduates. So feel free to, like I said, jot those questions down as we go through the presentation. Take any notes. You can throw something into the thought bubble, access that little IM instant messaging chat feature by clicking on the thought bubble in the lower left-hand corner. And Camisha, thanks for being here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and we can start going through your presentation.
Sure. So my name is Camisha Moore. I'm actually from New London, Connecticut. I live just 3 minutes away. And I went to the AIM program. I'm a prepster, so I went through CGAS, and here I am at the Academy now.
Did it all. It's good.
So just to start, I'm just going to talk a little about myself. I was born in New London, Connecticut, and my parents raised me in Gales Ferry, and then I ended up moving back to New London, Connecticut my middle school years. And I wasn't really sure what the Academy was when I first heard about it. I kind of just thought of it like the sub base, which is in Groton, where they construct all the submarines. So I really just didn't understand what exactly went on here, but that's why they had the Academy Introduction Mission, AIM. And that gave me a great introduction to what exactly goes on at the Academy. And aside from like the basic training with like the yelling and the push-ups, I got to learn what majors the Academy offers and just like what kind of cool things cadets get to do here. And then overall, what's the mission of the Coast Guard. And it was through that like helped me start to like develop that like want to serve my country and join some sort of service. And of course, I picked the one that was humanitarian because I love to help people. So.
Excellent. That's great. All right.
So my elementary school was the Regional Multicultural Magnet School, and that gave me a really diverse background. There were students from all ethnicities and like areas of Connecticut, so they did a really good job integrating us in our classrooms and trying to get us to like learn from each other so that we'd be well-rounded when we moved on to middle school. And I ended up going to the Fishers Island High School, which was a very unique experience. I took ferry to school every day. So that was really interesting, just getting me to start learn how to like manage my time. Like I have to pack all my stuff and get to the ferry in the morning or like study before I get to school. Just so many, like it just made going to school so much more interesting and different. And then I transitioned to high school at the Williams School, which is right across the street from here. You can see it.
Convenient.
And they did a good job of like preparing me just like academically for the Academy.
Nice.
So the Williams School. It's primarily liberal arts. It is a college prep school and it's a private school, and they honestly offer everything. You can take Spanish, you can take honors chemistry, they have AP courses, and they just made it so that their students would be able to kind of dip in all areas so that when they applied to college, they would be the best applicant they could be. Unfortunately for me, my ACT scores weren't very high, so I definitely struggled in like the STEM courses. But I would say that Williams did prepare me well for that. And then the Academy, when I applied, did offer me the Scholars Program. So even then, like not getting directly in the Academy, the Scholars Program was like kind of like a detour to get there. And it's a really great opportunity.
And what best prepared you in leadership roles in high school?
So I was a member of our student council, which we called Pro Council. And it was constructed a little different than your average school. So instead of just having a president and a vice president, like a secretary, we had 3 members that were like equal in rank, and then we had a treasurer. So I was one of the 3 members that was like in charge of like organizing dances, making sure that like the student body was running well. So that was like one of my first leadership experiences. And then I was also co-president of the Multicultural Club. So just making sure that we're like increasing the knowledge within our student body about different like cultures and kind of like giving them fun opportunities to like learn.
And you said you did struggle with the STEM courses, but what type of STEM courses do you remember taking in high school that kind of got you at least somewhat preliminary prepared for prep school and the academy?
So when I came in, I took like Algebra 1, and I ended up taking like Algebra 2 over the summer, and then we went into pre-calculus, geometry, and then differential calculus, which was like, instead of taking AP Calc, you could just take differential calculus without the AP exam. And then we were required to take physics and chemistry, and you could elect to take the honors version of that. I just took the regular one. And there were like a lot of other classes you could take, but those are like the kind of like the basis that you had to take, and then obviously English.
So attending a liberal arts high school, it seems like you were still able to leverage or take advantage of most of their STEM opportunities. So even though it might have been a school geared to one way, you were able to at least kind of make a focus that helped you prepare for the academy.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Wonderful.
So I played sports in high school. I was on the girls varsity soccer team all 4 years. I did girls varsity basketball for 3 years, and then I ended up transitioning more towards dance my last couple of years. So that was interesting. Just kind of like finding my way and trying to find a niche, which is nice because when you get to the academy, there's so many opportunities for you to like try something you've never done before, or like keep living out your athletic dreams. So graduating. As I said before, I did not get directly into the academy, but I was offered prep school. And at the time, they only had 2 prep schools. That was the Marion Military Institute and the Georgia Military College. And I was told that I was going to go to the Marion Military Institute in Marion, Alabama. So you just go to school for a year, and the primary focus of it is to, like, if you're lacking in one area, whether that be like your academics or your your physical, just like your like physical performance, so like the physical fitness exam, you have that entire year to like bring that up and then try to get your appointment to get into the academy directly. So for me, I would say that I was lacking in like the STEM area. So at prep school, we had to take English and then physics, chemistry, and then math, which was, for us, it was like pre-calculus with a little trigonometry. And definitely my focus was to try and like learn as much chemistry and math as possible so that when I got to the academy, that transition would be a lot easier, and my freshman year would be not as difficult as it could have been if I had just gotten directly in.
And besides the STEM prep, was there anything that you held reservations about or you were nervous about coming into the Coast Guard Academy? Did you know what the academy was at the time, or had you done all your research and kind of understood what you're getting into? And how did you kind of overcome some of those uncertainties?
I definitely would say I had no clue what I was getting into when I went to AIM. It was a lovely surprise. Mm-hmm. But my cadre did a great job of like showing us what the academy had to offer. So going into CGAS, I had a better idea of how the academy worked. And then it was just kind of like, I know where I fall short and what I need to focus on, and kind of like just like steering myself to like put more effort into those areas to make my academy life easier. I definitely would say even when I got my appointment to the academy, I was still nervous about like chemistry and physics, just because I didn't know if it would be an entirely different program from what the prep school offered. Mm-hmm. So I was definitely nervous about that, but I did feel more prepared, and I had those time management skills and like just like building the teacher-student relationship from prep school that I knew would definitely help me my freshman year. All
right, great. Moving on, we're entering the academy. Perfect.
So things that I learned from prep school that helped me my freshman year when I got to the academy were just like time management, how to manage my money, just like reaching out to recognizing when you need help from a teacher and going to get that extra help, and then just like growing as a professional. So like establishing a reputation for yourself, because your SWAP summer reputation carries with you, but really how hard you work during the school year and how much you work as a team with your shipmates, or as a team with your shipmates, matters the most. So
we can't skip over some of these great pictures. We gotta spend time on them. So here you are, right?
Yes,
You're
Mr. Moore.
Bravo Company, Amster Moore. How many companies for CGAS? Was there only a few? Did
There
they
were
do all
only
8?
two.
2 companies. Alpha and Bravo?
Yes.
Alpha and Bravo Company. All right. So did everyone make it through
Through CGAS?
through CGAS summer experience, or do you have a couple people drop out?
We had like people drop out for just not being. We only had, I want to say we only had one person drop out for like thinking that this wasn't for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like medical, but for the most part, I would say like 95% made it through.
All right. And then explain these pictures. What's going on here? Why the different uniform?
So on the left side, I was in band company, so that's like the yellow agulette, and this is just like what we wore at Marion for drill. So I feel like that was a post-drill pic for my parents.
There you go. And then right side?
That's like our CGAS group. So I feel like that's the first picture we took like when we got to Marion and we like met together with our chief and our officer, and that's just like the original CGAS squad.
All right. And then who are you with on the left, and who are the folks with you on the right there?
So on the left, there's first class Kyla Hewley, who's going to be our regimental XO this next semester. So
Nice.
That's really cool. That's just like a picture of us very close to graduation, where we started to like wear our trops more often, which is so much pride. Definitely love trops.
There you go.
And then the picture on the right is me getting my appointment to the academy at the end of CGAS.
And you're with mom and dad?
I am.
Awesome. With the Moores there. All right, I'll let you keep going there.
Here's a lovely picture of my swap summer address.
All
I
right.
still accept care packages if anyone would like to send me one.
There you go. Go ahead.
This is day 1, so you get about 10 minutes with your parents, or it's either 5 to 10 minutes with your parents after you take the class picture on swap summer. So this is right when they released us to go have that time with our families.
Wonderful. How much time do you get? Do you remember?
I want to say it's 10 minutes, but I really, honestly, it's so blurry. I just ran, and then they started asking, like someone from the day started asking me questions, so it's just so blurry.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Time at the academy.
So now, your freshman year, you have like a set schedule. Everybody takes the same classes. It just depends on which semester you take them. So you have like chemistry or physics, English, and then your navigation class or your statics class. But definitely your 3rd class year, you start to get into more major specific classes. And my major is the government major. And they have 3 concentrations, the international relations concentration, and then there's public policy, and then security studies. So we have lots of options for government. But there are like a number of other majors, and I'm sure they're adding more. There's, I mean, just to name a couple, there's like mechanical engineering, naval architecture, marine environmental science, management. You can do ORCA, which is like operational research. So there's like if you have a strength in math, you can go ORCA. If you like to do like more science and like biology related things, you could go MES. If you're interested in politics, there's government. If you like finances, there's management. There's so many different avenues you can go. So yeah, I'm a government major. And I'm also a member of the Color Guard. So I started that team last year. I started on the dance team, and then I went to the cheer team, and I tried to figure out where I would go next. And then I figured, why don't I just make a team? So I made the Color Guard, which is like the flag team. They perform with the Windjammers at football half times. And then I still do winter cheer and men's lacrosse manager.
Great. And then your clubs and councils?
So
pretty involved.
Definitely.
A lot going on.
I definitely think it's important to make sure that we're like spreading diversity through the course. So I try to join as many clubs as possible and like educate myself so that I can educate others. So I'm on the Genesis Council, the like International Council, and the Genesis Council is like the focus of that is to like provide the core an opportunity to learn more about African American culture. And then the International Council is just like different, like all different countries coming together so you can learn from each other. And then there's Compañeros, which is like focused on like Latin American culture. There's the Jewish Club. And then we just had like a new council started last year, which is kind of like the head of all councils, the Diversity Peer Educators. And their focus is kind of just take all these affinity councils and find a way to make sure that the entire court is like really having the opportunity to learn from them.
Great. Talent show. We're going to get into a slide in the talent show in a little bit, right?
Yes.
Is that the next one? Let's see.
It might be. Oh, this one's just my cheer from sophomore year and then the color guard from last year. But here's the talent show.
All right.
So you asked like what was something I was nervous about from prep school into the academy. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to stick with playing soccer and basketball coming to the academy, and I ended up not doing either. But I definitely knew that I didn't want to give up my dream of dancing. And one thing that's really great about the academy is they have multiple opportunities for you to like, if you're kind of an artsy person, to kind of like continue to live out those dreams. So there's like an art show, we have the talent show where you have people like dancing, singing, playing the piano, just so many like great opportunities for you to like do things that are not just like athletics focused or like academics focused. You just like those little things that you thought you would lose in high school, you have so many chances to like keep up with at the academy.
That's a great point, because I bet it's a big misconception that an academy, you wouldn't have any access to the artistic side of yourself. So you wouldn't, maybe you perceive that you would show up here and it would be all sports driven, military driven. You wouldn't have an outlet for those things. So that's great that you bring that up. Yeah, and anyone else, any students who would watch could then kind of relate and say, hey, maybe I can then go in and do graphic design, or I can dance, or do something else. It's wonderful. Awesome.
For your majors, depending on where you are, like which year you are, you have electives. And if the academy doesn't have a class that you're interested in, we're so close to Connecticut College that you're allowed to go take classes there. So perfect example is next year I'll probably take a dance class at Con to satisfy my fitness credit. So I mean, if you wanted to use your elective to do graphic design or scuba diving or something that you're interested in, you can definitely use that so long as you've satisfied your other requirements.
Great.
And then cadre to now. So the picture on the left is me during cadre summer. So last year as a CGAS cadre, and we just finished giving them their CGAS pins. And I feel like that was a great moment because I know they were really happy to like finally be like in the scholars program and ready to go to prep school. And then we had just finally like met our goal of training them so that they were physically fit and they knew all of their NDOC and that they were just ready to be representatives of the Coast Guard at their prep schools. So that's a really great picture. Plus it's like, I mean, it's not everyone from CGAS, but it's like a good chunk of us that got to do it. So
nice.
That's really cool.
How about the picture on the right?
That's me getting my battalion staff like shoulder boards, so like these ones.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's interesting to be the cadre, or like I should honestly say it's interesting to be the prepster and then the cadre and then to be in charge of the program. It's like kind of like coming around.
Full circle. Excellent. What do we got next?
So my aspirations. I'm really interested in Spanish, and luckily as a government major, you have to have some sort of language requirement. So you can go to Con and take French or like German or Arabic, or the academy offers Spanish, and I just absolutely love Spanish. So I took it last year and I'm going to take it again next year, and hopefully it'll help me be able to go in the Coast Guard and do something that's Spanish related. So ideally I'd want to like train Spanish speaking Coast Guards, and I just have to like find my little path to get there.
Yeah, ITD, International Training Division. And you mentioned possibility of doing West Coast cutters, East Coast cutters. So you definitely want to start with an afloat background, no matter what happens after that.
Definitely.
Awesome.
And what something that's really great is while you're at the academy, your third class summer, so the summer before your sophomore year, you go on Eagle, and then you go to like a sector or a station, or you can go afloat. And I definitely appreciated that because it was fleet experience, and I got to go on a national security cutter and just start to see like what actually goes on like the operational Coast Guard. So that's when you get to like start thinking of what you want to be and like what kind of officer you want to be and where you want to go in the Coast Guard, because you get that experience.
Okay. And how was your time on Eagle? Did you enjoy it?
I thought it was fun.
There you go.
Just, like the port calls were great, and then honestly, Eagle is really good at like teaching you what it's like to stand those watches, and then also have to make sure that like, I mean, you're managing your like qualifications, and then you still want to spend time with your friends, and you have to find time to sleep, and then there's just so much that's going on, and I was like good, like a little taste of what it's like to be just in the fleet kind of. It's like, I mean, it's schedule, so you have a schedule and they're telling you what to do, when to do it, but by the end they expect you to kind of like start to be like your own adult and your own person. They just kind of treat you like you would be if you were like in charge of yourself. So then you're responsible to get the extra quality you want, or make sure you go to the training on time, or make sure that you're waking up for watch. So that's really nice.
Okay. And were there other summer experiences that you got to have here? Did you do coastal sail or the T-boats and the rifle pistol range? What did you think about those opportunities?
I really, honestly, the most like useful one was rotor, even though it's really difficult. And
what does that stand for?
oh man, rules of the road. So it's just like how, it's kind of like driving, like how you're supposed to operate your vessel when there's like other vessels around you and different weather conditions. So that was useful because right after my group went on coastal sail, and we were like sailing a boat from like here to like Block Island or Cutty Hunk. So that was great knowing like what we should be doing on our vessel. CAP was really cool, but I mean, I heard that from my friends. I went to MSTP, which was like the Marine Safety Training Program. So we went like the prevention route, but you could also go aviation. There was like a naval engineering one. So there's so many, like, again, with like, if you're interested in certain things, there's so many opportunities for you to try and like, just try them. And I definitely recommend, like, if you think you want to go afloat straight out of the academy, maybe try MSTP so you can see the prevention side, and vice versa, because you never know.
That's great, yeah. All right, and are we near the end?
We are.
Do we have another slide?
We do.
There you are. What's this picture from?
This is just like a random picture from me. I was supposed to be the flower girl when I was little, but I ended up being the bell girl because my cousin got nervous. So
there you go.
I just found it.
Well, how was the walk down memory lane?
It was great.
Was it all right? All right, great. So we're going to open it up for some Q&A now, and switch over to that side of the presentation. So please take a moment, locate that thought bubble in the lower left-hand corner, write out some questions, and we want to make sure that we ask all sorts of great questions from our first-class cadet here. And in addition to that, if you are currently viewing this with someone else, so let's say there's another partner with you whose name might not be appearing in the attendee list, just go ahead and write their name into that thought bubble so we can make sure that they get the credit for attending these training sessions. I know there's a couple people who have trouble logging in. That's perfectly okay. We have recorded it, and we will make sure that we get it online and push it out to everybody who was not able to be here today. So we'll open it up to any questions. We are here for the next 7 minutes at least. We got a nice short time, so anything that might strike your mind as far as what to expect for high school students looking to apply, or any questions regarding the application itself or your summer experiences. I'm not sure if you got to work with any of your classmates who went on internships or do the exchange program with other academies, but those might come up as well. You got a great job. Thank you so much. So there you go. Great job, Camisha. Fantastic information. Excellent. Any questions at all? Don't everybody go at once. Anything we're missing, Camisha?
I mean, you mentioned the exchange. So your second class year, first semester, you have the opportunity to go to a different service academy. So that could be the Air Force, West Point, or you could even go to Navy. So that's a really cool opportunity. Like, if you initially applied to West Point and then you came to the academy, you can go back. And it just kind of like lets you develop that relationship with other services, because we're definitely going to have to work with them in the future. So that's a really cool thing to do.
Excellent. So Paula says it sounds like there are some new opportunities for the second class summer since her daughter was here as a cadet. And is there a list somewhere of the different opportunities? Yes, there is. So if you go to the USCGA.edu website and go to Cadet Life, you can actually view those summer training experiences and see all the different summer training experiences available to students and cadets as they go through their 4 years. So how it changes from SWAB summer all the way up to graduation. So definitely take a look there. Mr. Mullenbrock asks, did CSTP or the Coastal Sail Training Program, did that help you with your leadership skills at all?
Most definitely. I would definitely say that I struggle in just being assertive sometimes or like trusting my instincts. So I was definitely nervous about being the watch captain, which is the person who's like telling the helmsman which direction to turn and how many degrees, or asking the person that's plotting like where we are, when should we turn, just things like that. So I was nervous about being in charge and like being confident in my decisions. And CSDP was like it's your like moment to shine. So I definitely think I had that chance to like fight through that and then just become a confident leader.
Excellent. Anything else? Very interesting. Great job. Camisha, one piece of advice you would absolutely give someone who is looking to come to the Coast Guard Academy?
Oh man. I think what helped me the most was the fact that I didn't really get senioritis when like I went through the college. Like after I got through my first acceptance to college, I didn't get senioritis. I didn't just stop doing my homework and relax. I tried even harder. And my third quarter grades are what I think made me get into CGAS, because I didn't get directly in. And then when they asked, oh, can we see your third quarter grades? They were even better than my average grades or my normal grades. So I think that's what like sold them and showed them that I had like that determination, that drive. So I definitely think like your entire senior year, if you really want to get into the academy, you just got to keep pushing. If you don't get directly in, keep doing well in classes and seeing your teachers and like reaching out to officers. And then that's just going to show them that you're like, you really care and you really want to be in this service. And I think that looks really good. And it's like a good way to push yourself.
Awesome. That's great advice. And one last question here from Ms. Wong. How easy or difficult is it to take classes at Conn College? Have you had any problems or found it pretty easy?
It's pretty easy. You just kind of like tell your advisor, oh, I really am interested in taking this class at Connecticut College. And then there's like some papers that honestly, it's like a form you have to fill out, and they just have to verify that like there's space for you in the class, and then it's done. It's honestly really easy.
Perfect. All right, so you're getting a lot of accolades and compliments on your speaking skills. Good job. And we again want to thank Camisha for being here today. This just about wraps up our presentation. Again, everybody, if you have the opportunity, go online, check out our YouTube videos. We'll be posting this up there shortly as well. So you'll have repeated access to all of these great training materials. If folks get in touch with you and ask to find out those resources, they can contact our office. We'll put them in touch and make sure they have access to it. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Here comes AIM. Our students report in for the direct appointments on Monday, and CGAS comes in another couple of weeks. You ready?
I am ready.
Ready.
Excited.
All right. Very excited. So again, Camisha, thanks so much for being here today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and go Bears. Have a great day. Bye.